All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I got to find a better intro for this MMA show. I always say happy Thursday, but probably 95% of people aren't watching this on Thursday. Regardless, happy fight week. UFC Fight Night in Mexico. Little Mexico action. I mean, man, it could not be any more different of a card from last week to this week. I mean, just looking at all these money lines, insane. Minus 182 is the closest line fight. 8,500, 7,700. That's the only mid-tier fight on the card. After that, it keeps getting bigger and bigger. 9,700, 96, 94, 95. I mean, monster favorites, which means big underdogs, which means completely opposite of last week. Last week, I was hunting ceiling, even with the underdogs, which turned out to be wrong. So someone commented like, oh, could have been more wrong with Fluffy. We're going to be wrong all the time. I mean, we break down the fights. We put in the work, and yeah, I mean, it doesn't go your way always. These dudes are in underwear, throwing fists. If you can't wrestle, Sean Strickland beat him up, and what a performance that was. Throw it to you, Big Marley. Great to see you. How we doing today?
Yeah, too soon, man. I was all in on Fluffy. That was just not what I saw happening. But, yeah, not my favorite card to come back to. I mean, I think it's going to be tough to find underdogs that you like, and then it's going to be tough to find underdogs that even win, period. So you kind of have to think about building lineups where if underdogs don't win, and then there's also a couple of underdogs on this card where it's like if they do win, then they can break the card, whereas other underdogs could win and score 50 to 70 points. So looking forward to talking this card with you, but I think it's going to be a tough one DFS-wise.
I think it's going to be really tough. I totally agree. So no favorites less than minus 180, and 8 of the 13 favorites over minus 350. Again, that's super tough on this card. We did have one late notice replacement. Tarin stepped in on 4 days notice, which is why you can see 9,100, 7,600. We'll talk about that when we get there. But Kareckaite was a bigger favorite before her short notice replacement in Tarin. But yeah, I mean, I don't really think there's too much more to be said about this card. We go fight by fight. Like, leaving money is really difficult. If you told me any underdog win, I would want to be overweight. Oh, actually, I mean, one of the more unique cards that I can remember. Right now, our projected ownership, our highest owned fighter is an underdog, and that is Lonnie Kavanagh in the main event. Never happens. I mean, a plus 180 underdog is projected highest owned on the slate, and that keeps coming back to it is really hard to make comfortable clicks down low, so people will gravitate to him with the solid money relative to the money line compared to the slate with 5 rounds to work. So yeah, just want to keep that in note. Very clearly, Kavanagh will be very popular, and after that, it'll be relatively spread out in the lower tier. Marquee, Hart, YSN, Bradley, appreciate everyone hanging out. All we ask is the like button and subscribe button. Helps us out a ton. And before we get into it, I tweeted about it, but I need to make a live shout out. The legendary Ian McGill, my brother's friend. I met him in real life. Super nice guy. Actually teaches special ed at a high school nearby, and works the second job at Quick Trip, just absolutely grinds, cuts my brother's hair. He does it all. This dude made one lineup. He said he watched the show, but he's in a couple other Discords, and what he took away from the show is when you win, how much do you win? He wanted to be different and leave money. So he left $1,200, played one team in the 100 single entry, the same team 3 times in the flagship, and solo ships, but dupes himself 3 times for a cool $140,000. I mean, you won't get more legendary than that, wow. Ian. He went from Punahele Soriano down to Jordan Levitt in that team, which was the difference. I was on the phone with my brother watching the fights, and 2 left. Ian texts him and it goes, man, I got a pretty good team. And I'm like, all right, people say that all the time. I'm like, let's hear it. And he's like, Jordan Levitt, Jacoby Smith, Mel Costa. I don't know if it was Leal. I want to say it might have been. But like, oh my gosh, he's got the stones if Medic and Strickland win. Now, of course, 2 underdogs. Medic gets the job done right away. Strick Daddy puts it on him. And Ian is a legend. that everyone is talking about on the MMA Twitter. So yeah, why not shout out that? I mean, $45 in the 130 something thousand. It's hard enough to win the MMA with less than 10 dupes to solo and then dupe yourself 3 times. That's next level. So big congrats to you, Ian.
Yeah, that's awesome. Congrats.
All right. No time to waste. We're going to get into it. 13 fights to talk about. First fight of the night, in my opinion, the best fight to target on both sides. Damian Pinas, and that is how you pronounce his name, so don't be chirping. Minus 260, taking on Wesley Schultz, plus 220. Minus 600 for this fight to finish. Pinas minus 200 inside the distance. Schultz plus 285. Pinas round 1 plus 150. Schultz plus 400. I mean, this is the fight. If any fight on this card, if I had to be 100% on one, this is the fight I'm going with. I love how Pinas at 8,800. I mean, that's like cheap on this card with 8,500, the lowest price favorite. This fight's most likely to finish minus 600. Wes Schultz on the other side, best inside the distance prop by a wide margin in the lower tier at plus 285. And yeah, he's going to be the second most popular underdog. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Probably mid-20s. But when comparing him to Kavanagh, he's probably going to be 1.8 times less owned or something like that. And I do prefer him. Winner of this fight should score really well. If it doesn't, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to turn off the card. I just love UFC, period. But my lineups will probably be pretty thin. I'm going to have close to 100% of this fight, more than likely. And I don't even have a preferred side. I just want a lot of it. How do you see it?
Yeah, I agree. I just want a lot of this fight. I want to start out with a whole bunch of live lineups and a whole bunch of dead lineups after this first one. But I think those live lineups are going to be the ones competing for the optimal lineup. It's just, I think it's one-way traffic on the feet and it's one-way traffic on the ground. Damian's got to keep this standing, and he's a big, powerful dude. He's going to be trying to knock off Schultz's head. Schultz is going to be diving for doubles. If he can get the fight to the ground, I feel like he might be able to just run through this guy and like get a submission in the first minute, in the first 2 minutes, something like that, and just be an absolute lock for the optimal right out of the gates. But he's got to get the fight to the ground for that to happen, because if he doesn't, he's just going to be eating some big punches. And there's only so many punches you can eat from this guy before you're going to fall. So I think we get a finish one way or another. I'll start building my lineups by hand with Damian. See what happens, and if I need to drop down to Schultz, I drop down to Schultz. But I am going to try and force this fight into the majority of my lineups. So I would say I want it in at least 80% of my lineups.
Yeah, I'm with you. If I was playing 10 teams, maybe I'm just all in on this fight, 50-50 or 60-40. And like if I had to make one stand on this card, it really is that. When we get to the upper tier and keep talking about it, I'm going to be mixing and matching these guys up top. Like 103 might not be enough. I think there's a lot of variance in like who gets the first round finish versus the second, or who gets a quick win bonus. Like, I mean, a lot of these dudes with favored to finish the fight, with the fight's favored to finish, and with big favorites, like they're going to project well. They're going to look good. So I don't have a strong lean on who it is up top. And then, yeah, with so many big underdogs, I don't feel too confident down below. So if I could just start my lineup with one of these two in almost every spot, if it busts, yeah, GG. I mean, Fluffy busted. I was pretty much dead last week. Now, reverse, this is the first fight of the night. But again, each fight, it's independent to each other. It should not mean if it's the first fight or the last fight or the middle fight, it doesn't mean anything in DFS. It's a mental thing that, okay, now I'm dead. Now I'm bored or whatever it may be. But I think you're playing the game wrong if you do it that way. So, yeah, we kicked it off with my favorite fight for sure. And I want a lot of both sides. All right, let's start getting into some of the big favorites. Actually, big favorite, and then we have two closely lined fights. But the tied for the highest or the biggest favorite on the card is Francis Marshall at minus 725, taking on Erik Silva plus 525, minus 325 for this fight to finish. Marshall, the best inside the distance prop on the slate, minus 325. Silva plus 1,000. Francis Marshall plus 150 in round one. And he is plus 115 by sub and plus 200 by KO. I'm going to throw it to you, but one thing I want to mention is a lot of these big favorites are primary strikers on this card, or at least don't have the same takedown upside as I think someone like a Francis Marshall does have. So second highest price on the card, no doubt it's big, but I mean, yeah, minus 325 plus 150 in round one is pretty strong. So what are you seeing?
Yeah, I mean, Silva's like 39 years old at this point. We haven't seen him in 2 years. And he hasn't really shown anything great when he was younger. So I don't expect anything from Silva. I think we'll get maybe a hot 2 minutes out of him where he's throwing some powerful shots on the feet. He can maybe shoot for a shot or two if he wants to, but that's not going to be smart because he's not going to be playing a 15-minute game in this one. He should be going for a knockout. If he gets it, he's on the optimal lineup. If he doesn't get it, I think he gets beat however Marshall wants to beat him. The issue with Marshall is $9,600 is a lot to pay, and he's not a high work rate type of guy. I think he's going to have all the edges here, especially after the first minute of this fight. He might not have the explosive edge, but he is going to be the better striker, the better wrestler, and he's going to have the cardio edge. I just think he's going to dominate the fight. It's just how many points is he going to score in the process? I'm not sure. I would rather take my chances under his price, especially because we are starving for underdogs on this card. I think it's going to be tough for me to pay $9,600 first of all, but I would rather go to a guy, just $100 less than Gandra, who we'll talk about. And then there's tons of other people that we can go to instead. So I have a feeling I'm not going to be forcing this one into my lineup. So I have it as a 4. I'm not sure why. I think it's more closer to like a 2 or a 3 for me.
I can't say anything against that. The price tag is what will keep me away. And like Santiago Luna, for example, it's the first one I saw, 9,300. I'm totally fine plugging in Marshall, dropping down to Luna, leaving 300, going about your day. And again, underdogs are tough though. So I'm not sure how much Marshall I will get, but I will say I kind of will skip ahead. Quinonez at 9,700. I do prefer Marshall in a vacuum myself. I think he has more wrestling upside, so I can leave 100 there. But Quinonez, Marshall, not sure how much I'll be able to get of them, but they should roll. For me, Marquis, pretty much nothing. I can't really remember, I guess. You're at that point, you're almost like trying to be a psychology major, reading into both guys' aura and their confidence and all of that. If you're good at that, maybe. More so, I look at it just like if it's like a guy making their debut or it feels like a couple people lie about their height, like seeing a height difference between someone or this and that. But last time when I say that, like Jack Della Islam, everyone kept talking about how big Jack Della is, this and that, and we saw how that works. So do you have any take on this?
I wouldn't say it determines my player pool, but I do watch face-offs sometimes to get a better read on a fight, especially if I don't really have a lean one way or another. Sometimes a face-off can sway me one way or another. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, me and Big Marley, if you watch our education video, you got to be a member at Chippin' Nation to do so. More education, have it for multiple sports, MMA. Big Marley and I play MMA, definitely different to an extent. A lot of same things, but he's more I know fights. I'm trying to be more process-oriented, numbers, when I win, how much I win. Not that Big Marley doesn't do that, but he's also more aggressive with his player pool than I as well. So I love talking fights with him. It's always a good time. Can help me dictate. Shout out to you last week with the Punahele Soriano. Ended up helping me out, getting off Brahimaj quite a bit. That and the line movement.
That probably helped me not have a bad night, I think.
Yeah. It was a close fight, too. It was a close fight. It was minus 120.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was playing the decision. I don't even listen to him, so I'm just waiting to see the hand get raised.
I definitely listen to him. I don't know how you don't listen to him. You're a different beast.
Sometimes.
All right, keep it rolling. Next fight on the card. Again, this is the short notice replacement. What is Regina Tarin taking on Ernesta Kareckaite? The line open minus 150, and then 7 hours later got as low as minus 220. Some money has came back on the Tarin side. Now it's minus 185. Plus 160, one of the most likely fights to go the distance on the card at plus 225. Kareckaite and Tarin are both plus 425 inside the distance. You can see Tarin making her UFC debut at 21 years old, 7-0, but she did lose an amateur fight. She was 1-1 in the amateurs, which I almost like to see. I like when a fighter deals with some sort of adversity. I saw this as Tarin wants to get the fight to the mat. Kareckaite wants to keep it on the feet. Fight heavily favored go the distance, and I see one girl 9,100, one girl 7,600 with the same inside the distance prop. It is definitely Tarin or pass for me. How do you see it?
Yeah, if I was making 150, I don't think I would pass on Kareckaite, but I am more so on the Tarin or pass side with my limited hand build lineups. I just don't think I'm going to want to pay 9,100 for Kareckaite on this card, but she should have a massive striking edge, I think, in this fight. She should be the one, if it's on the feet, pushing forward, landing nice, technical, crisp straight shots that will eventually add up, and she could put Tarin away. And she can also put up decent volume along the way. So I think at no ownership, she makes some sense, and she could be somebody who lets you ship it solo. But Tarin is an underdog who, if they win, you're going to need her because she is going to have to get the fight to the ground. And if she does, she could finish the fight with a ground and pound stoppage or a submission, or even grind out 2 rounds at her price would be enough, because it's going to have to be with wrestling. But the issue is she's not a good wrestler, and she will clinch up against the cage for like 2-3 minutes at a time, and that could just kill this fight completely. So that keeps it closer to a 2-star than a 4-star. But I have it as a 3 right now because I have interest in the underdog, and I think that the favorite could be a sneaky favorite that nobody's going to be on. And if it is a one-way traffic type of fight, if the takedowns aren't there for Tarin, maybe she gets finished late in the first round after Kareckaite already put up 45 significant strikes, and you're starting out of the gates with like a 9% owned favorite. I feel like that'd be a good feeling.
Yeah, actually, so I said it might have been Leal on his team. It was actually Jocelyn Edwards, and that's kind of a similar play. One thing we got right last week, definitely got plenty wrong. It didn't mean anything, but the Jocelyn, and again, it didn't look good in round 1, and then a freak nice slam in round 2, and next thing you know, she's optimal. Shows the variance in DFS, in MMA DFS. You think it's so bad, and you're kicking yourself. Next thing you know, she's optimal. But yeah, I mean, very low owned, a way to get different. Kareckaite throws volume, but man, like plus 425 to finish on a card with the upper tier this loaded, it's tough for me. There's no doubt about that. So I won't have much, if any, and I definitely are going to play some Tarin. I mean, plus 165. That's almost the closest line fight on the card. She has taken some money, and she's a wrestler. I mean, yeah, if she wins, like I would definitely want probably like 55, 60% if I knew she would win on this card, just with how little dogs I like. Least. So
yeah,
at least, yeah. So Tarin is one of my favorite underdogs on the slate. Kareckaite, one of my least favorites, probably my least favorite. Let's go to another underdog I think is live, and that is Douglas Silva de Andrade plus 185, taking on Javier Reyes minus 215, minus 145 for this fight to finish. Reyes plus 120 inside the distance. Douglas Silva de Andrade plus 380. Reyes, a primary grappler, plus 260 to win by sub, plus 350 to win by KO. Douglas Silva de Andrade plus 400 by KO. I mean, if you guys haven't seen Douglas Silva de Andrade, just Google the man. Probably the most ripped 40-year-old you will ever see. Throws absolute bombs on the feet. 20 of his 29 wins have ended by knockout. He is going up a division in this fight as well, which I almost like for him. I mean, he cut so much weight. This is just another fight for me where I need underdogs. The line's somewhat close. His takedown defense is solid. He hits really hard. I need underdogs. So Douglas Silva de Andrade is live for me, so I'm going to play some. More curious to hear on your take on how this fight goes. Like, Reyes is going to be really low owned, and he wants to fight on the mat, or not really low owned, but relatively in this slate with Moreno 100 more. But I don't know. I'll let you talk about the Reyes side for me. I'm definitely playing Andrade.
Yeah, I didn't really dig into Reyes too much. I'm going to have to watch more with him. I watched his Contender Series fight, I believe, or whatever his last couple of fights were. And really, this fight's just more on the Andrade side. I mean, this guy's about to be 41 years old. We haven't seen him in a year and a half. He was already looking like he's on the decline. He's never been a high-volume fighter. All he really is a powerful striker. And, I mean, he could be like a powerful grappler as well, but he doesn't wrestle much. He's landed, I think, 6 takedowns in the last decade. So not somebody that is going to be looking for takedowns, especially in this matchup. So I think with the Andrade side, you're really hoping for a knockout in the first half of the fight, because I think it's just all downhill for him at that point. He's going to start slowing down. And at 41 years old, man, you're not trying to get paid by the minute, man. You're trying to get in or out of there, I think. So if it's not going his way, I think he's going to end up giving up at some point. And Reyes is a finisher. I think he could finish Andrade on the feet late in the fight or on the ground at any point in the fight. So I do prefer the Reyes side, but it's just because of Andrade. I wasn't impressed with Reyes. I just think he's getting Andrade at the perfect time, making his debut. He's going to be all pumped up. I think the UFC wants him to win at this point. So he is my pick to win. If he's going to be low owned, I like him. If he's going to be high owned, then I'll find other people.
Makes a lot of sense. I don't think he will be high owned. I think Reyes will definitely be low owned. I think Andrade will be relatively low owned, the same price as Tarin. I do think more people do go to the Tarin side. Probably more people go Macy. But I mean, at the end of the day, like if I knew a 7,600 isn't like completely low tier, but if he scored 65, like I would take it on this card. I wouldn't want 70%. But man, we're going to be talking about so many monster favorites where I'm not picking almost any of these guys, where I'm signing up for 65. I'm signing up for 55 in a loss at 7,200 this week. It's a whole, there's 8,500, 7,700 and no fights between 8,400, 7,800. So you're forced into a stars and scrubs build on a card with so many big favorites. There very well might be a loser on the optimal. Big Marley, one of his biggest wins. What was that? 9 points from, was it Marnik Man or something crazy?
Yeah, so whatever she had. Yeah, it was like nothing. And I had another loser in there too. Or
was it like Bulgarian or something that scored? Yeah, like Bulgarian or something that had like 60, like, or it was someone that came.
Shevchenko Grasso. It was like a draw or something happened.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. So another thing about this fight, I also hate when there are two people priced the same. So if I do like an Andrade lineup, you kind of have to duplicate that and make the same lineup and put Tarin in there too. So I think I would just personally, with limited lineups, I'm taking a stand at $7,600. I'm going to Tarin. If I can use them both, that's great. But I that FOMO would kill me, man. If I had Tarin in my lineup, but the same exact lineup would have won if I had Andrade, man, that would kill me. So
you hand build, like when you say that, you hand build more so, right? Like is when you're saying that? Because for me, like if SaberSim does that, I'm not going to. I'm not going through all 100 some of my
I wouldn't
teams.
do that either. Yeah. But I usually have 20 or less lineups, so I'm trying to hand build. If I have trouble making lineups, then I will just go over to SaberSim and I'll put in as many kind of rules. I'll X out some people, and then I'll try to get it to where it gives me like less than 50 lineups total with that fit with what I'm giving it. Yeah. And then I'll just run that. But I try to get a small pool, like as if I was hand building myself, you know?
Yeah.
But I haven't done that in a while. It's been a while, but this card's going to be weird. I might 150 in the 3 entry max. I have no idea what my plan is this weekend. I made one lineup already just to kind of get a feel for it, and I don't love it. So we'll see what happens.
I couldn't imagine. I mean, I almost hand build never anymore. I'm definitely an MME. Find the portfolio, find fights I like, try and limit dupes. But I could, even if I was a single entry guy, like this would be one of the harder single entry fights in my opinion, because you could get 3 of the favorites right, and they all score 92, and you might not even be close to the winner because these other guys are scoring 115 and 108 and 112 and whatever it may be. This is a really, really hard DFS card, but ownership will be relatively spread out. We have 13 fights, and yeah, in that case, it's pretty good. Find the right underdogs. Hope you pair them with the right favorites. Yeah, easy game when you say it like that. We'll keep it rolling, though. Next fight on the card, tied for the biggest favorites with Francis Marshall is actually, no, now he's the 3rd biggest favorite at -700. Cristian Quinonez, +500. Kris Moutinho, -260 for this fight to finish. Quinonez, -195 inside the distance. Moutinho, +700. Quinonez, round 1, +180. I already tipped my hand. Like, Quinonez should beat this guy up, but he's 9,700. He's 100 more than Marshall. Yeah, that's a lot of salary when I don't like many dogs. And I think 9,300, 9,200, 9K. I think there's other people below that have just as much upside. So no Moutinho, probably underweight Quinonez for me. What about you?
Yeah, I would say it's similar to the Marshall fight for me. I'll probably move it down to a 3-star as well. Not going to use any Moutinho. I don't even know why he's getting another chance here in the UFC, but I don't see him ever winning a UFC fight. He's one of a couple people on this card I feel that way about. But I think Quinonez is going to be better than him everywhere. I don't see a single edge in this fight for Moutinho other than like maybe toughness, but he is coming off a brutal knockout. And I think Quinonez is more live for a first-minute win than Marshall. So maybe I would be okay having Quinonez over Marshall for that reason, but I'm really going to try to avoid 96 and 97 if I can, because I don't love the underdogs on this card. We'll see what happens when I start building, but I would just imagine I don't get to too much Quinonez. I think he wins by knockout, though.
Books disagree a little bit. Marshall plus 150 inside the distance. Quinonez plus 180. With that being said, Quinonez did open plus 225 in round one, now plus 180. So good amount of money has come in on his round one prop. Both are obviously solid. I mean, both could get a round one knockout and still not even be sniffing the optimal at the end of the day, just because of, again, a tight salary, and other big favorites also have similar upside as well. Next fight on the card. Closest line fight, closest price fight. Ailin Perez, minus 175. Macy Chiasson, plus 150. Plus 210 or plus 215 for this fight to finish. Both Macy and Ailin plus 410 inside the distance. I am so torn on this fight. I am all ears. Yeah, I mean, the stone right there. 4.68 takedowns per 15 for Perez, 2.07 for Macy. Ailin has definitely put up big scores, even in decisions. Do you see her having that same type of upside in this matchup?
Yeah, I think that is her biggest edge in this matchup, would be the wrestling. And if Chiasson can get back up, good for her. Try and get another takedown for Perez. I have the 4-star Perez for that reason. And since I moved Quinonez fight down to a 3-star and the Marshall fight down to a 3-star, I moved this from 3-star up to a 4-star, because I do think this is a pretty good fight to target. Perez just always a solid DFS target because of her wrestling upside. If she wins a striking match, it's going to suck for DFS. But if it's a striking match, that puts Chiasson in play. I think Chiasson would actually win the striking match if it stays on the feet. And Chiasson, I would give the cardio edge to if Perez is landing takedown after takedown after takedown early in the fight. But Chiasson keeps getting up. I think the second half of the fight could be a Chiasson fight. And if she gets on top of Perez, I think she could finish Perez in that position as well. So I'm cool with either side of this one. I prefer Perez, but it's another one similar to that first fight where I might start with Damian and move down to Wes. I more so want to force that fight into my lineup, but this one would be okay with me if I am hand building. I have Perez, not really loving it. What can I do? Let's drop down to Chiasson. Now let's see what I can do.
Yeah, I think I lean Chiasson literally for that last thing you said. And I think I'm going to be forced to click. I don't love clicking on these underdogs. I keep saying the same thing, but most of the underdogs that I do have interest in, I've already kind of talked about. And Macy, like, this fight should be relatively high paced. The striking, I think, will be close. I wouldn't be shocked if Ailin wins the striking exchanges. Like, Eilin's actually improved decent bit in the striking, but Macy does have better cardio. Maybe she can get a takedown of her own, clinch control, top control, control time. It really just comes back to 65 might be enough at 7,700 this week. And I need salary relief. So a live dog, closest line fight, or the most likely underdog to win on the card, 7,700. Yeah, I think she's live. I'll take a win at any 7K price tag. Definitely playing her. And Ailin Perez, she's someone I said I want to be around the field with. Like, her upside, she scored 100 plus multiple times. If she is just a way better wrestler, she can easily put up 106, 107, something like that. And that'd be great at 8,500. But I don't think this is the fight she does it, because if Macy's taken down, she's not great at getting back up, which is almost what you want. So Ailin can keep chaining the takedowns. I can see like a 3 takedowns for 8 minutes of control time or whatever, 88, 90 points. And I don't think you take it, but I'm not sure that's enough on this card at 8,500, just with how loaded everything is. So this is a fight I don't want really to burn me in either way. So I'll be probably pretty close to the field on Perez, probably overweight Chiasson as a very live dog. What's up, Mike Spencer? Good evening to you. Appreciate everyone hanging out, watching live, watching on playback. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you're ready for a great weekend. All we ask is like button, subscribe button. And if you do want to join us at the Nation, let me show you real quick. ShipItNation.com. I think the best deal, join the Nation, is the 5 days for $19, because it gets you NBA, gets you PGA Showdown, gets you MMA, and gets you NASCAR on Sundays, in addition to NHL. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sports. You're getting $19 for 5 days, and you're getting SaberSim to help build your teams, and you're getting access to the Discord definitely the best steal around. If you're just watching MMA and you just play MMA, single sports, MMA right here, $29 for the month. You can get everything. If you do want to add Saber Sim, you can get that as well. I mean, if you know you're going to be with us every UFC card, I would definitely just do the annual $25 a month. You get all of our content and you get Saber Sim. Multiple options. You play multiple sports. I think the 5-day, $19 is the best trial. If you just want the day on Saturday, you can try us out for $9. Projections, ownership, fight ranking, slate plan, our MMA education tutorial, core report, tier rankings, you name it, we got it, and a great, great Discord around. All right, let's get back to the stone, and we'll keep it rolling to the next fight on the card. Ryan Gandra taking on Jose Medina. Gandra tied for the biggest favorite with Marshall at minus 725. Medina plus 525. Minus 350 for this fight to finish. Gandra minus 250 inside the distance. Medina plus 600. Gandra in round 1 plus 155. You already tipped your hand a little bit earlier, saying you prefer Gandra over Francis Marshall. Why do you do so? And is he your favorite spend in the upper tier?
Because Medina is another one of those guys I just don't see ever getting a UFC win. Isn't this is like 4th or 5th chance, I think? I just don't
0 for 1 in Contender Series. He lost some, got outstruck like 75-27, taken down 6 times, gets the contract. 0-3 in the UFC. None of them have been close.
Dude made Zach Reese look like GSP. So I'm just not I'd pick almost anybody over Medina, but Gandra, I was at least like, I watched him and I was like, okay, this guy pushes forward. He looks dangerous. He's aggressive. He can hit hard. Those are good things, at least. There was nothing good to say really about Medina other than he's tough. He can take a punch. That's pretty good. But that's not going to win you UFC fights. So give me Gandra or pass in this one. I think it'll just be easier to afford Gandra at 95 than it is. And I always prefer to get away from 96 and up just in general. So I love this $9,500 price on Gandra. I think he gets a first round knockout. I think it'll be the last time we see Medina. And it'll probably be the last time we see Gandra as a minus 725 favorite as well.
Yeah, I echo everything you said. No Medina. Gandra probably scores well, but again, he's 9,500. I think Luna, who we're just going to talk about, is just the same amount of upside as all those guys ahead, and he's $9,300. So if I end up underweight on 9,500, 9,600, and 9,700, honestly, I'm fine with that. Even though they're all favored to finish, we're talking about some other cheapies or other cheaper fighters in the upper tier that are also expected to finish, and allows you to either leave money to get different or spend up for some more likely dogs to win. So, yeah, I like Gandra, but who knows how much I'll have with them. I'm not going to make hard stands in the upper tier. Like I said, I prefer to narrow my underdog pool. Medina is one that I do not want to click. Next fight, another big favorite. Santiago Luna minus 625. Angel Pacheco plus 450. Minus 325 for this fight to finish. Luna minus 215 inside the distance. Pacheco plus 550. I mean, man, Luna looks good. 7-0, only 21 years old. He's definitely not afraid to fight. Like he'll get hit, which is a little scary. So I'm wondering about your Pacheco thoughts, because it's hard with 20 teams or less, but he's plus 450 money line. He's plus 550 inside the distance. Like if he wins, books are saying he's probably winning by finish. Any underdog that wins by finish this week is optimal. So I've gone back and forth. I just think Luna's way better everywhere, so I probably need more than 20 teams. But, I mean, he's definitely a low-owned dog that if he wins is almost surely optimal in my opinion.
I'm going to X him out. Luna's my favorite play on the card. I'm a big Luna fan. I think this kid's going to be good. A little bit of Jacoby Smith in this guy. I think big hands and powerful wrestling, and he comes to fight early. I like everything about him. I think he dominates this fight. I think Pacheco is in the cage with Luna this weekend to lose and to set up Luna for a highlight reel. 21 years old, man. Yeah, this kid is going to have a bright future. If I was making 5 lineups, I'm just going to throw Luna in all 5 of them. 10, I'm thinking about doing the same thing. Luna's my favorite play on the card. I think he could win with the first round knockout or just mop the floor with them. Pacheco let Loughran get 140 significant strikes and 3 takedowns as well. Like, Luna's just gonna dominate this guy. I think I like Luna a lot. I threw him in a parlay. He was like minus 400 range. I was like, man, should I just play this straight right now? I think is pretty solid odds, but I didn't.
I mean, yeah, that's very good value, minus 425. Now, a lot of line movement on this card. Always recommend going to fightodds.io. You can click the number. He opened minus 400. Now he's minus 625. Yeah, I probably won't play Pacheco in 20 or less, but I'm not going to X him if I'm playing 20 or more, which I do most weeks. Some in the flagship, some in the $3, occasionally in the qualifier, depending on what the number is. But yeah, Luna's a great play. But man, you really went on a whim, or like went out there 10 lineups, all 10 maybe for sure 5.
I like this kid a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if he's optimal and you have the Pinas and Schultz fight like 100%, and you get Luna optimal in one of those two, I mean, that's like the best way in my.
I thought you were saying if you have the Penis to go all in.
I mean, that's the dude's last name, so I don't want to crack too many.
Yeah, I forgot about that guy. Yeah.
But like that fight, you know what I'm saying? Like, I love that fight. You love Luna. If it's Luna and one of those two on the optimal, you only need to find 4 other spots.
Yeah, that's a good way. I mean, I probably it's how I'm going to start my hand building. I would think.
Yeah, I'm hand building. I'm definitely, if I were to, Pinas, Schultz, one of them in there. Luna is my favorite upper tier fighter as well, because he has wrestling upside, because he has a good first round prop, and he's 9,300 versus the other plenty of guys that are more expensive. Let's go 100 cheaper to Emmanuel Rodriguez, minus 450, taking on Kevin Borjas, plus 350, minus 200 for this fight to finish. Rodriguez minus 135 inside the distance, Borjas plus 500. I think this could be like low-key fight of the night. I mean, Borjas can stand and bang. Rodriguez can stand and bang a little bit. Rodriguez, only 26 years old, 6-0. Yeah, I'm really excited to hear your take on this Rodriguez guy. And Borjas, I mean, he's a live dog, in my opinion, that's going to get the fight he wants. So I'm definitely going to play some.
Yeah, true. I really haven't thought too much about this fight, but it could be a good one to target because Borjas, I think, does fight at a decently high rate, especially at 7K. If Borjas wins, I think he would put up a pretty solid score. But he'll strike a lot. It's just that there's not a lot of power behind his punches, and I don't think he's going to be looking to wrestle much. I think Rodriguez is going to be the better, more powerful wrestler, and his shots are going to be hurting Borjas. And I think the longer this fight goes, those shots are going to start hurting more and more. We're going to see Borjas start turtling up a little bit more and more. And I like Rodriguez to get a knockout at some point. But he is still young. He's still green. I don't trust him that much. I just like the overall talent from him, and I think he's a decent prospect. But maybe Borjas is catching him at the right time. I'm okay with some Borjas lineups. But personally, I would say it's probably closer to a 3-star than it is a 5-star, but I like it where it is around 4.
I agree. I would have to go 3 over 5 as well, but I think 4 is fine. I think Rodriguez will be relatively low owned in the upper tier, still favored to finish. And yeah, I mean, Borjas wins. Sign me up all day at 7K. I do like Borjas like more than Pacheco, who's 100 less. I like him more than Silva. I like him more than Moutinho. I like him more than Medina. So just naturally, I think I'm going to play more Borjas than I'm comfortable with. But yeah, I'm trying to limit dogs on this card that I think are drawing very thin. Borjas is one I do think is somewhat live. What's up, Choke? Good to see you. Broncos. The Broncos. All right, next fight on the card. 4 fights left. Edgar Chairez, minus 355. Taking on Felipe Bunez, plus 290. Minus 205 for this fight to finish. Chairez, minus 160 inside the distance. Bunez, plus 650. Chairez in round 1, plus 275. Chairez by sub, plus 210. Chairez by KO, plus 210. Yeah, I mean, a 9K fighter that's minus 160 to finish isn't too bad. I see you have a 2-star him, 4-star Bunez, though. So are you picking the underdog?
Yeah, I tried to force in one underdog pick on this card, and this is the guy I picked. But it was the line that talked me into it. Just Chairez being minus 350, I just don't really agree with that. He is dangerous on the feet. He's dangerous on the ground. He could finish Bunez anywhere. But if he doesn't get a finish, man, I think minute to minute, this is going to be a pretty close fight. So I lean Bunez for that reason. I have him as the 4-star because he's an underdog that I picked to win, but he could definitely get finished on the feet or the ground. He's going to want to get the fight to the ground, but I could definitely see him getting a takedown and still getting choked out himself. So I wouldn't feel good about it, but I don't feel good about any underdog on this card. So he's the one I'm kind of taking a little stand on. I will be overweight to him. I'll go underweight to Chiasson, but I would still want some Chiasson exposure because of that first round finish equity.
Do you think Bunez wrestles quite a bit?
I think he's gonna. I wouldn't say like quite a bit. I don't think he's gonna be a wrestler, but I think he's gonna attempt some wrestling early, and if he can do it, I think he's looking to grapple here. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also think he would be a guy that if his first 2 or 3 takedowns don't work out for him, then all right, we're striking now.
How much, like, would you be willing to go Luna down to Chiasson and leave 300?
Personally, no, because I'm so high on Luna. No.
Rodriguez down to Chiasson.
Rodriguez down to Chiasson, I'd be okay with.
He's favored to finish the fight more, -160 versus -135. So that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, the thing with Chiasson is like, man, he gets finishes because he's not the highest volume. He doesn't get takedowns. He relies on the other guys to take him down, which is why his takedown defense is bad, and then he's good off of his back. Leg kicks are nice, but plus 275 in round 1 versus a lot of these other guys isn't the best. I'm definitely going to play some. Buna is a very live dog at 7,200, almost good money line value for his price when we're talking this card. So, yeah, Buna is probably my preferred play if having to choose. 3 fights left. Daniel Zellhuber taking on Bobby King Green. I don't even think it's Bobby anymore. I think it's just King Green, -500 Zellhuber. Plus 375 is King, -145 for this fight to finish. -145 inside the distance is Zellhuber. Plus 1,300 is King. Zellhuber round 1 plus 250. I mean, a lot of monies came in on Zellhuber inside the distance, and I'm in agreement. Plus 105 at open. Now it's -145. At the end of the day, I mean, this is just not the same King Green as it was years and years ago when it was Bobby. I mean, the dude, he fights with his hands down. He likes to jaw. Everything comes from the hip. It's fun, but Zellhuber, big, he's long. I'll never forget the Trey Ogden fight. Like that will always be a concern. Like maybe I'll just play a little King Green just because you never know if Zellhuber is going to lay an egg like that again. But that was UFC debut in front of fans, a very young kid. I think he's definitely got much better. He's way more technical. He's way more powerful. I'm worried about King Green's chin. He's 39 years old. I mean, yeah, it's Zellhuber all day for me. But I don't know if that translates to big DFS score if it doesn't get a first-round finish due to no wrestling upside. So, yeah, what do you see between these two?
Yeah, I think the line is a little too wide. Definitely Green, 39 years old, almost on his way out here. But nothing, I mean, Zellhuber has all the technical edges, like he is taller, longer, should be faster and stronger at this point. He's younger. He has a higher ceiling. But Green's been around longer. I mean, if you look at their stats, he lands more significant strikes per minute. He has better accuracy. He eats less strikes. He has better striking defense. He wrestles better. I mean, all the stats point to the Bobby Green side. I'm not calling this guy King, especially fucking plus 375. I'm calling you King. Get out of here. But Bobby, I think he's going to get a striking match that he wants. And if there is wrestling, I think he could be the one that's looking to land a couple takedowns here. I don't feel good about him winning at all, but at $6,800, I think he could take it to a decision, make it close. I'm interested probably more so in the Green side than I am the Zellhuber side, just because of these price tags. I like other big-time favorites more than I like Zellhuber, and I really hate the 6K range, but I'm willing to throw Bobby Green into a couple lineups. So I'll be rooting for the old man Bobby to get it done.
You said he cost you $3,500?
No, he's fucking plus 375. I'm trying to call somebody King. You're a fucking huge underdog. Come on, get out of here.
That's funny. Yes, so I did write up if no underdogs won and King Green goes to decision, that could be like 110, 120 significant strikes, and it's 45 or whatever could be enough. Like, obviously, if you parlay every favorite on the card, it's going to be a good amount of plus money. It is favored.
Also, you mentioned the Trey Ogden thing. Zellhuber can definitely fight down to his opponent's level as well. Trey Ogden, he's coming off a loss to Michael Johnson. I mean, similar situation here. but he was not supposed to. He was like minus 500 in that fight, I think. He was a big favorite.
Yeah.
I could definitely see him just shit the bed. But this is in Mexico. He's supposed to be the one that's gonna that you would assume the UFC wants to win, but there's no way I would lay minus 500 on Zellhuber when, I mean, not a single statistical edge in the fight other than age, really. So I think he wins, but I think he probably cruises to a decision or gets a TKO that doesn't score enough points.
I'm trying to see if that first fight versus Song Fight Night where I thought it was in Mexico. Oh no, it was at the Apex. I don't know why I thought it was in Mexico. I know one of his fights were, I don't know exactly which one, but it was a win. Oh, it was the Francisco Prado fight. He beat the brakes off him, but didn't score enough for DFS for sure. Yeah, three star I think is where it should be. I mean, Zellhuber will be way lower owned than Gandra. He'll be lower owned than Francis Marshall. He'll be lower owned than Luna. Like, that's a pivot in the upper tier if you want to go there. I'm more willing to click Zellhuber than I am Kareckaite, but he still falls on the list when I am picking favorites up top. All right, 2 fights left. David Martinez taking on Marlon Chito Vera. Minus 310 Martinez. Plus 260 is Chito. Plus 275 for this fight to finish. The underdog in Chito better inside the distance prop at plus 415 versus plus 550 for David Martinez. I am not playing any favorites or 8,900 fighter that's plus 550 to finish. I know it sounds like Dan Ige, what I said last week, and the dude gets finished in round 1, but Chito, one of the best chins out there. All 11 losses have come by decision. I almost never play Chito in DFS because the dude does nothing. No volume, doesn't wrestle, drops round 1, relies on his power too much. But on a card like this, if he wins the fight and scores 49 points, that might be enough. It might not be, but I don't promise. If 600 dogs win, you'd be mad about the Vera score. But more than likely, you're not going to be mad about 49 points, even at 7,300 this week. And I think he's very live. I mean, the dude, I think it's a striking match. He gets what he wants. He's powerful. He just has to throw, which, yeah, he probably doesn't do. But, I mean, I like him way more than I like David Martinez for the 1,600 savings. So, Chito or pass for me. What about you?
Yeah, I'll probably flip my stars on this one or make it a 3-3, but I really like Martinez as striking. I think he is the real deal. I think we are going to have a striking match here, and he is going to win and just not score enough points. That's how I see the fight going. So I got it as a 2-star for that reason. I won't be playing much of it. But if Vera does win, he's much more experienced, much more better competition. And if there is grappling, Vera should be the one looking to take it to the ground. That would be smart of him to do. I don't know that he will, but if he does, he could have some success there. He could get really a submission in any round. So the longer the fight goes, I always like Vera. This is only a 3-round fight, so it doesn't play well for him. I think he's going to lose at least 2 of those rounds. But $7,300, I'm a little bit interested. If I need to find an underdog, I'm okay clicking on Vera. But overall, this is one of my least favorite fights to target because I feel good about Martinez winning the fight and just not scoring too many points.
Yeah, that makes sense. Vera doesn't have the upside. I just want to win. He has some win equity, in my opinion, even though the line is going against him. On Tuesday, it was minus 270 Martinez. Now minus 310, the hometown guy. But Vera more likely to finish the fight as the underdog. So I'm going to play some. Hope he lands a big shot. Even though, yeah, I mean, he lost to Eamon Zahavi. That's kind of scary when you're trying to back him. But at least you get a lot better number this time around. Main event time. Brandon Moreno. It was supposed to be Brandon Moreno, Asu Almabayev. Out was Almabayev. In is Lonnie Kavanagh. 8,700 is Moreno. 7,500 is Lonnie. We got minus 210 Brandon. Plus 180 is Kavanagh. Minus 105 for this fight to finish. Moreno plus 165 inside the distance. Lonnie plus 425. Like I said earlier at the top, the highest projected owned fighter we have right now is Lonnie Kavanagh at plus 180 to finish. That is so rare. I cannot remember the last time we've had an underdog be the most popular fighter on the card, especially a plus 180 underdog. it shows that we play a salary-based game. You have to click an underdog. A lot of them are not fun to click. Lonnie will be the first one people click. Wes Schultz will be the second one people click. Anyone after that is pretty different. But man, like, I know I'm going to be underweight on Lonnie. If he's 47% or whatever is the most popular underdog, like, no chance. Brandon Moreno should be the minute winner. He should have the cardio advantage. He's been there and done that. I mean, what, Charles Johnson just starts Lonnie? Like, I mean, the dude's good, but 47%, no chance I want to be around the field on that. I'm struggling with Moreno, though, because, I mean, his last 2 5-round fight wins have been, let me get this right, it scored terrible. 74.4 and 82.8. And that could happen here. Like 8,700, he's around a lot of people with better inside the distance props. So I'm leaning a fight fade as my favorite approach. After that, I'm leaning Brandon Moreno. And then, yeah, I'm not going to X out Lonnie, but at ownership, I don't like it one bit, really. So, yeah, I'm really curious to hear your take on this main event.
Yeah, I almost always have main events as a 5-star. I just lowered this one to a 3-star because I think the fade does make a lot of sense. People are going to click Kavanagh because it's 5 rounds. It's a somewhat close money line, and they need to afford these big favorites like Luna, Gandra, Marshall, Quinonez, whoever it is that they want to get into their lineups. And the best way to do that is going to be clicking Kavanagh. So I think that's why the ownership is going to keep going up on him. But I could definitely see this being just an all-around MMA fight where both guys land a takedown or two, and they don't strike at a high pace, but it's a fun technical fight, and it scores 85 points at the end of the night. And I don't think 85 points is going to cut it for Moreno. 85 points for Kavanagh, give that to me all day long. So I'm more willing to play Kavanagh, but at the ownership, I do think we should try to find ways to get different because you might just be making the same lineup everybody else is when you're clicking on him and those favorites that I already named. So, yeah, I think fight fade is maybe the best way to go about it because it's still going to be 70% or more owned by the field in general. So, yeah, maybe get away from it and hope that Moreno wins.
Yeah, you hope Moreno wins it
too. Is Moreno, but I put it as a 3-3 because I really don't feel good about Moreno winning. I think it's going to be a pretty close fight, but I just think he's just more well-rounded, a little bit more skilled if it does go to the ground. I think he's the better scrambler, better grappler. I like him to get the win, but don't like him to put up 110 points or something like that.
Yeah, which brings back to the fight fade. I think it comes in over-owned. Moreno by decision, Moreno 3rd or 4th round knockout or whatever it may be. Very well might not be enough. So that's my favorite way to go about it. Yeah, just to recap, main event fade or main event fade or underweight and load up on the first fight of the night, Pinas and Schultz. You love Luna a lot. Right there is kind of, and after that, just mix and match these favorites. And I have like 6 fades or something in the MMA slate plan, which you can find tomorrow. Big Marley's fight rankings are up. All of his breakdowns for each fight, the slate plan, all of this will be up tomorrow, including projections, ownership, all loaded into SaberSim, our partner optimizer over here. Again, you can get in as low as $9 for the day. $10 more dollars gets you 4 more days, gets you Discord. Again, SaberSim still included, and NASCAR Sundays, MMA on Saturday, NHL and NBA every day, and PGA Showdown. A lot of money to be made in the DFS streets. We would love to have you at the Nation. If you just know you're playing MMA and you want our content for the year, it's a lot cheaper than if you just go monthly. If you know you'll be with us for all of the cards, definitely recommend that. I think it's a great bang for your buck. Appreciate that, Marquis. Appreciate every single one hanging out with us. I want Big Marley's final thoughts for the people, and then I want Big Marley to send us out of here, and I will click the outro.
Yeah, final thoughts is Luna is going to impress all of you guys. He's on my core play sheet. Give you that one for free right now. I think this is going to be not the greatest card to watch unless you're live to make some money. So hopefully that's what's going to happen. Good luck to you, Title. Good luck to everybody listening. Let's ship it.
Let's ship it.